everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Again, my name is Michelle. If you don't know, it's Makeup with Michigan Michelle. Today I'm talking about more of a lifestyle development, I guess you want to call it, not makeup or cooking. As you may have known, I have talked about my previous miscarriages and hence my treatment afterwards. So I'm going to talk about that and some recent developments in my life. As you know, I have had a missed miscarriage where I carried until 16 weeks, but the baby had passed around 10. I then got pregnant after that. I miscarried again. We went through a bunch of fertility treatments. My doctor pulled me off of those. I went to more testing, so did my husband. We ended up at the University of Michigan, which I highly recommend, where they did extensive testing on me. The only thing they could find was chronic endometritis, which please watch my previous videos if you're interested in learning about that. It's basically a low-grade inflammation of the uterine lining. I was being treated for that. It was not going away, so they were nuking me with more antibiotics. I was on like my third round of antibiotics, and I had another biopsy scheduled, but before the biopsy, you have to have a pregnancy test done to make sure that you're not pregnant, obviously, before going through a biopsy. Well, I had the flu that weekend that I was taking this test, and I had a fever, it was awful, and I found out I was pregnant. So not only did I have to call for it because I was barfing, it was bad. I was full-blown flu, but I had to figure out what the heck to do because I was pregnant. So a couple things ran through my head. Holy crap, I'm nervous I'm going to miscarry. That was probably the first. And the second was, I've got the flu, what can I take? You know, I was losing fluid left and right. Any case, the treatment was that I had to go in for my HCG test. They repeated it. It almost tripled, so that was good. I had to go in for an ultrasound at 7 weeks, and it turned out okay. And then I pretty much graduated from U of M and have been seeing my OB/GYN since then. So a couple things that I wanted to update you ladies on is, or men, I really do think that my current state has to do with the fact that I did have endometritis, and apparently I think it was cured. And the other thing was that they put me on a medication, they meaning U of M, put me on a medication called Plaquenil. So although I had a full panel of tests ran from autoimmune disorders to thyroid to, I mean, you think of it, I've had a battery of tests done. Although all those came back fine, U of M put me on a medication called Plaquenil, which is typically given to people that have Crohn's disease. I don't have Crohn's disease, but they found that in unexplained recurrent miscarriages, women on this sometimes end up pregnant, and they keep it. So that's what I'm still taking. I've been a nervous wreck this whole time. I have nightmares about miscarrying. I am constantly running to the bathroom to check my, my garments for blood. It's a lot of pressure. My grandfather recently passed, and so did my aunt. And I feel like it's a lot of pressure on me to carry this baby to term because, you know, it's the circle of life. You lose a life, you watch your family getting older, and, you know, here I am with this living being inside of me. So there's a lot riding on my shoulders right now, and I love my career. I want to kick butt in that. I want to be healthy. I want to remain healthy. There's so much that I want to do successfully. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and when things weren't working out, i.e. the miscarriages, it really hit me hard. So I wanted to update you guys on that. I'm not a very bubbly person with like, oh, let's do bump pics and let's talk about our, you know, I just don't get into that stuff. I'm too serious because I'm too disgruntled, and I really feel for everybody out there going through infertility. So I guess the purpose of this video is be your own advocate with your health. Don't go to, I don't want to say it like that. Do go to places that are not privately funded looking to take your money and try to recommend high-end expensive procedures that you don't need. Go to a place, I would highly recommend U of M, that's not there to profit from your your unfortunate circumstances that's legitimately there to help and diagnose and provide treatment. Definitely do that. Like I said, be your own advocate. Don't lose hope. I was becoming pretty hopeless after 2 miscarriages, and so long for trying, trying and medications and nothing was working. So, and here's my last piece of advice that I give good advice, but I don't take it that well. So my last piece of advice is that there's a couple different ways to approach pregnancy. My second one, I was a nervous wreck, which I still kind of am, but I was of the mindset like, you know what, it's going to happen, I'm going to miscarry, and guess what, it did. So again, it like proves that cycle of I'm going to get nervous, I'm going to freak out, it's going to happen anyway, so I might as well be prepared. Well, here's what I'm here to tell you. Worrying and freaking out and being negative and expecting the worst does not make a loss any easier. It does not make death any easier. It does not make miscarriage any easier. Freaking out and supposedly being prepared, you're not. Those weeks of my life, I should not have spent being like that. And I caught myself doing it again this time. So I started spotting at I think it was 8.5 weeks. And I had to go to the ER twice, and everything turned out okay. They diagnosed me with a threatened miscarriage, but I got put on Plaquenil. I've had an ultrasound since. Everything's looked okay, knock on wood. And the ultrasounds have kind of helped calm my fear. But the fact of the matter was I was freaking out, and I had thought in my head, that's it, I miscarried. Here we go again. So no amount of worrying and negativity and freaking out will ever prepare you for a miscarriage. And it does not make losing a life any easier. My suggestion is to be happy for what you have. If you want to tell people, tell them. I decided to tell people, and I'm deciding to tell you all. The main reason for telling my YouTube community here is that you ladies have been so helpful to me in education and helping with symptoms and endometritis and all this. I mean, this whole process. I want to thank everybody, every female on here and guy that's shared their stories, because it just, you feel like you're not alone, and you feel like there's so many struggles out there, but sometimes you just need to see it to make it real. You need to hear it to make it real. And that's what YouTube's really done for me, as far as the whole fertility and infertility, and the whole community's really helped. So that's what I want to share. What I'd like to focus on for my next set of videos is not so much like, oh yay, look at my bump, but I want to focus on like, here were some major things that I thought were wrong, or that really made me nervous, or a symptom that went away, or a symptom that came back. And I'm hoping that this progresses to where I can tell you, like, this is what actually happened, this is what's normal, this is what was normal for me. So hopefully somebody that's watching that has a similar situation or feeling, hopefully that they can learn something and maybe get some comfort from that too. But again, thank you so much for watching. I've got my fingers crossed, everybody. I really hope this is the one. It would mean everything to me to just be able to carry this successfully, and I'm getting there. I'm 11 weeks and a day now or whatever, so my panorama test is Monday, which is blood work to assess risk for genetic disorders. So it wasn't like required, but the doctor offers the test to anybody. So I decided to roll with it because we all know how much I love tests. So I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. Let me know what questions you have. If you have any questions at all about infertility or recurrent miscarriages, I'd be happy to talk to them or address them or whatever with you, because again, I think knowledge is power, and this community is so helpful. So thanks, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and au revoir. Bye-bye.